There's many reasons. First, it feels fresh because not a lot of games. I don't know any games in Chicago, so it feels fresh. There's also a great background of you know, it's rich in history, so the crime, the Great Fire. So if you want to create a story, it's a great place. The infrastructure, the architecture is really interesting. There's a mix of old and new, so it's, you know, it's nice. And there's a lot of hacking opportunities. It has the most advanced surveillance camera network in the U.S. There's the bridges, the L train. So in terms of connecting with the environment, it felt right. And I don't see Watch Dogs anywhere else right now because I feel it's such a great fit for the game.
I think when you prepare for building a city that exists in real life, there's a lot of work involved. I think it was done in separation. Like, there was a lot of different departments that had to do different things. We sent the artists to Chicago to take a lot of pictures, a lot of scouting. They did all the trips they could do to visit all the neighborhoods and make sure they would build as authentic of a city as possible. That was one side. And then we had to send a lot of audio guys as well, like to capture the ambience of the city. So the sound really comes from recording, 3D recording from the city. So all the ambience you hear, like the police sirens, all of that stuff comes from the real city of Chicago. And then on top of that, all the voice acting for all of the citizens, every barks we call them barks, it's small dialogues that they can do when they react to. I think they can react to more than 100 different stims, and so there's thousands upon thousands of dialogues being written. So we needed a lot of different actors to record like those voices, and we did it in Chicago to make sure the accent would be right.
And why we don't hang out? No, we don't hang out because we kill each other. See, you, my friend, much like this shit show, have no art. No nuance, no subtlety, and it really irritates the shit out of me sometimes.
Even the cops was we sent our writers with the actual audio guy this time to make sure they would write the different dialogues of the radio communication as accurately as possible what the cops do in real life in Chicago.
Be advised, units are en route to the suspect's location.
I think precisely what's disruptive about this game is that for the first time, mainstream media are actually showing hacks which are credible, as opposed to most movies we all have, you know, in mind, which are absolutely not credible. The hacking present in Watch Dogs is kind of realistic. It's inspired at least by real research. Now, what is not realistic is the time taken to break into things. Like breaking into a car, for instance, is not entirely impossible, but it would take like 6 months of research, while in the game it's taking you literally 2 seconds. That's also what makes the game pleasant, right?
Every hack in the game is feasible in real life. Everything has been proved, so every technology you see and every hack Aiden is performing are real life hacks you could perform in a way or another. The only things we stretched a little is the creation of CTOS, because you have this one entity everything is connected to, so it's really easy for Aiden to hack only one place and have access to everything. However, there is no real smart city today that has this kind of centralized operating system, but we know that in the 5 to 10 coming years, many cities will have a CTOS of their own. We couldn't do a game about hacking the real thing. I mean, players wouldn't like to spend 4 hours coding Unix to make a shell. So we had to find some shortcuts. What we realized is that most of the hacking done by script kiddies, not real hackers, not the technician one, are done through apps. So basically, even most of the DDoS, DDoSing the website, blocking the websites, are done through one single software called the Ion Orbital Cannon. You can download almost anywhere. Just enter the IP and there you're hacking a site. So the concept of hacking through an app is already there. So it is a little stretch to have Aiden do that on his phone, but if you have the resources and the means and the will to do it, maybe anyone can do that. The
seamless experience, because it was quite a challenge to you know, people they're used to a certain game experience, but we wanted to say, now Watch Dogs, if you're in the world, you're online and you're playing with others, and we hope in the future we're not going to talk about single and multi. For me, it's just choice for the player. If you want to do your story, do it. If you want to do a mini game, fine. If you want to do a side mission, fine. But if you want to do online, just, you know, play it, and then some people can come in your game and you have game dynamics, you know, that happens. It's just more choice for the player, and he doesn't have to stop playing to go play with others, and we try to incorporate that in our game. That was the most important thing that we wanted to achieve. He can come in your game, and then there's a kind of a hide and seek gameplay. He's trying to hack you, get your data, so we didn't want to create a lethal gameplay. So he hacks you, he tries to hide, you try to find him, and he runs away. But there is a shield, so if someone comes in your game, nobody can come in for a certain amount of time. And the less you're interested, so the less you go in online, the longer that shield will be. So we'll recognize, you know, as a player, okay, this person is not into that, he's not doing it, so the game will slowly say, okay, it takes a very long time before someone comes in, and if you really don't want it, you can turn it off completely. But I still feel that, you know, it's just more content for players to experience, and I highly recommend they try it.